Hi, welcome to Neilton Dynasty by Silver and Platinum. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Like, share, and subscribe. And for the rest of the story, we are bringing you the other side of the Ukrainian story that our media hasn't told you. The people that know me online, I've said several times in several different chat rooms that Ukraine is under investigation for war crimes because of the Azov Battalion, and they just happened to have miraculously, while in prison under Russian control, supposedly the Russians bombed their own prison to get rid of their prisoners of war that were wanted for international war crimes. But anyhow, this is the other face of Zelensky.
The station and our network guests on this next item, but I really feel I can't bite my tongue any longer. You see, I think the president of Ukraine is not all that he's portrayed as by the Western media. I mean, if you believe the spin, he's the second coming of Winston Churchill, and he'll be remembered as the great hero saving his people from the evil Russians. I'm the first to admit that Putin isn't a good guy either, but what the West glosses over is the terrible things that have happened to the primarily ethnic Russian people in parts of the Ukraine under Zelensky's rule. These people comprise the largest Russian community outside of Russia. They make up about 17% of the Ukrainian population. And they live in primarily Russian regions and have effectively been in a civil war with the Ukrainian government since 2015. This was just after they were promised a vote on independence in 2014. That vote has never taken place. Zelensky promised to end the civil war and clearly hasn't done so. Instead, he's facilitated the goading of the Russians by endorsing the right sector, whose leader publicly claimed he fed the bones of Russian children to his pet wolf. Now, apparently that was a joke, but it must have been lost on the Russians, and particularly those who felt they'd been mistreated by Ukrainian troops. Here's how Time magazine described one of them, the neo-Nazi Azov movement, just last year. Commentator Glenn Greenwald sums it up nicely with this tweet. No rational person thinks Ukrainian neo-Nazi militias justify this war, but it's dangerous madness to scoff at the impact of arming them, as the West is doing. In the words of President Zelensky, they are what they are.
Have you clear something up for us? And this is these reports about the Azov Battalion that is said to be Nazi-affiliated organization operating as a militia in your country, said to be committing their own atrocities. What should Americans know about that unit, about those reports?
So Azov was one of those many battalions. They are what they are.
I also want to point out that Zelensky sought to join NATO against another Ukrainian agreement that was set to maintain neutrality between Russia and Europe. And even as Russian troops were amassing along the border, the foolish US Vice President Kamala Harris publicly supported Zelensky's bid to join NATO.
So I will say what I know we all say, and I will say over and over again. The United States stands firmly with the Ukrainian people in defense of the NATO alliance.
You don't think that was about provoking Russia? Well, I do. In any event, like most marketers, Zelensky knows that image is everything. That's why he's always pictured wearing his army green t-shirt. You see, it portrays him as a man of action and part of the front line. Well, that myth was debunked early in the campaign when his staged peacocks in battle regalia were exposed as totally contrived. Since then, it's been the t-shirt of disrespect, which he's paraded in every single parliament around the world just about, begging for more money and arms, as one of the most corrupt countries in Europe. He even wore it in his Vogue magazine.
And I've said that many times, the Ukraine is the most corrupt country in the EU. I hope you guys do your own research and discover that what I have known, Ukraine is a cesspool of nastiness. Their government, I'm sure the people are great, but their government is a cesspool of nastiness. You guys have a great Saturday.